Sometimes car reviewers don't know when to shut the hell up and let the car and its looks do the talking. So this is the Audi A5 Sportback in S-Line trim, and it looks absolutely sensational. The closest bit of competition this car has in the Irish market right now is from its closely related VW Arteon, because that looks quite like it. It's give or take a similar-ish price, and it's got that Sportback sloping vibe going on. Doesn't have an Audi badge, does it? This car is full of lines and angles, crease right across the side here, extends fully to the front headlights. The bonnet has got more of them. You've got a huge panoramic glass roof. I'll tell you how much that costs in a few minutes. And then the rear has got sweeping lights, sweeping indicators, and a massive boot. Well, in this model comes as standard with an electric tailgate. The seats will obviously fold down, even more massive boot, cargo nets, shopping holders, tethering points, an actual spare tyre, although it's a space saver, and really cool strip LED lights all complete the package. And so you're not whacking things off the car. Now, there is a bit of a lip, but they've got that nice metal strip that goes on the back of some Audis if you're lucky. Boot, no complaints, huge, absolutely tiny little strip brake light here. Blink and you'd miss it unless you're behind the car. Now it's a Sportback, so the rear passengers, how's their headspace going to work out? Privacy glass, by the way, standard on the S-Line model. So it is dark because it's Sportline, you get a black headlining, but actually, do you know what? It's not vast, but it's very doable. That glass roof absolutely helps things. If it was just more black headlining, it would feel probably quite dark in here. This model, tell you the price in a minute. No climate control in the back. 2 charging ports for USB though. Both passenger sides have Isofix. No surprises there. Here's a surprise. The armrest has no bloody cup holders. Much like the Audi A5 that I reviewed at the start of this year, and if you missed that, you need to have a look there because it's absolutely class. Bottom part of the driver and passenger seat, they are quite low on the ground. You can adjust that. If they're at the bottom setting, room for feet, not huge. They are fitting under though. Middle passenger as usual gets a bit of a raw deal. Transmission tunnel, smaller part of the bench, only really suitable for smaller kids. Outer passengers, absolutely fine. They're going to love it. No storage nets on the back of these seats. Audi usually do them very, very well. However, they're wipeable. Again, kids kicking, wreck your head. Back window test right now, folks. Oh, nasty. Put some clothes on. That's like half the window. Again, I think it's because of these frameless doors, and they do look great, but they're open for like 5 seconds. How often do you want your window down to let some fresh air in, or even hang your arm out on a sunny day? Not going to be able to do it in this car. You can lock all rear passengers' windows and their doors. Little switch on the driver's panel there, that keeps people behaving themselves. This is a 35 TDI. Don't worry, you don't have to figure it out. That's what we're here for. 163 brake horsepower from this TDI engine. And, well, I'll explain what it's like in terms of performance on the drive in a few seconds. You don't have to wait long for that at all, but let's check out the front first of all. Let's start with what you do get in the S-Line. Lovely seats, wireless car charging, sliding armrest, lots of piano black going on. They do that very, very well. USB and 12 volt charging. There's no USB-C at all in this model, and then newer versions of some of the Audi range does have USB-C. So they're going through a transition period from model 2020 to model 2021 cars, so you might see small little bits of spec and price changes. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay coming on this screen, which is 10 inches, doesn't recline into the actual dashboard like previous A6s and stuff. They don't have that at all now because they got glass haptics all over the shop. The dials are analog. No Audi virtual cockpit, which they do so well. It's a shame. There are door bins for massive bottles of water, but you'll hit the wipers off when you do it because it's quite a tight fit. Other brands of water apply. This is not product placement, so I'd just like to point out. 2 cup holders up front here. A kind of small, not really sure what that's for because it's small. And oh, hang on a second, I found a USB-C. It's under here. I take it all back, Audi. There isn't really anywhere to safely and securely store stuff because you can't go in there. That's just for your phone. You have actual knobs and buttons for things like your climate control. Can you even actually go near them at all on the screen? No, you can't. Right. Well, on this, you're going to love it because you've got knobs for temperature, you've got a big off button, you can control your heated seats, your air conditioning, your drive select, and everything to do with demisting your windows, all from actual buttons. So if you love buttons, you're going to be in heaven. While you get wireless charging for your phone, you don't get wireless CarPlay or Android. So you're going to have to plug in an actual cable for that bit, just not to charge your phone. For nav, you're going to have to rely on those apps as well because you get preparation for it, but then you'll get something on the screen that says the navigation license has not been purchased. So in summary, the interior, typical glorious Audi, lacking in some digital additions that I've no doubt are coming very soon, but they're just not on the car at the moment. It's at this point in the video that I've kind of got to break the bad news to you because this car is expensive. As you see it here today, it's €100 short of €58,000. It's got a style package worth over €2,200. It gets you 20-inch alloy wheels, the black panoramic glass sunroof, interior ambient lighting that can change colour. That's not it though. Black mirror covers, €152. And black exterior pack, which has got bits of trim around the front and the grille and again around the back of the car. That's 700 quid. Oh, and the colour, glacier white, that's over £1,000. So in total, you're talking over €3,000 worth of extras, and they're not even extras that you'd kind of go, oh, it's like, oh. They're just kind of necessities on an S-Line. So it's an expensive car. It might have you thinking about that earlier mentioned VW Arteon. Doesn't have an Audi badge, but still looks good. Doesn't have the Audi interior, still all right though. I've no doubt there's people who love Audis, and in fairness, it is gorgeous. It's going to make people go, yeah, but it's worth it. I'll have a think about it. I'll come back to you Monday. It's that kind of car. And then over the weekend, you'll rack your head and go, yeah, but it is lovely, isn't it? It's lovely. And it is lovely. It's just bloody expensive. (163 brake horsepower, thereabouts. It doesn't sound like an awful lot on paper, and I don't expect you to take my word for it. You might want to drive it for yourself, but it's actually lively. It doesn't feel underpowered. There's loads of torque. For example, when I get into this car, I actually had to check the spec of it. I was like, is this really a diesel? Because the very second you're on the move, you forget, you can't hear it. The gear changes in this 7-speed gearbox are super smooth. You don't even notice them. You put your foot down. Now that's probably where you notice it most. Just that initial little bit of lag before things kick off again. But really and truly, for any cross-country driving that you might be doing, city driving, maybe you won't be looking at a diesel anyway, it's very, very smooth. And I just say don't judge the 163 brake horsepower. Of course, more powerful, more performing engines are always welcome, but that's really going to push this car up to a fairly crazy price. And 163 brake horsepower, it'll do the job. Not even half-arsed, it'll do the job well. So I'm on a fairly weird surface at the moment. One half of the road is tarmac smoothly, the other is very much up and down. And it's hard enough. We are on an S-line, we're on bigger alloys, thinner tyres, but it's bobbing around quite a bit. Now you're asking a lot of the car. It's on two wheels, are on one totally different surface to the other two. And then cornering, that's the bit that's really tight. Grips so well. Again, this is the front wheel drive one. Fuel economy, you're somewhere between 5 and 6 litres per 100 kilometres. Very fuel efficient, economical engine, especially considering that, you know, there is a good bit of torque and you're going to use that. And that's the kind of return it's been doing for me. This might be a criticism for some people. It depends whether you like cars low off the ground or not. In terms of handling, it adds to it. But I'm not exaggerating when I say this car doesn't feel much higher off the ground when you're sitting in it with the seat pushed all the way down than a Mazda MX-5. And that's a bit mad. Fun, but mad. Something to consider. A negative, it really should have blind spot and a few more driver aids for the price of the car. Chuck in the blind spot, Audi. It'll make all the difference, and at the price you're paying for this car, it'll just make it feel like you've got all the spec. Something else that may or may not bother you is the fact that people will look at you in one of these. It gets attention. I'm sure the colour and the wheels add to that, but you really will notice people looking at you in traffic, pointing at it, and if you're parked up and they're walking by, commenting on it. Some people love that about their car. They feel like, I made the right decision, I'm driving something cool, I'm driving something that actually people are bothered to look at amongst so many other cars that they don't. I'm very impressed with the handling though, and I'm very impressed with the takeoff power and the torque out of this engine. I really kind of, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that doesn't sound very powerful. But hands up, I've got to say, it's adequate, really is. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Don't be afraid to leave a comment or question in the comment section. That is what they're there for, after all. When you combine the exterior looks, the interior styling, how it drives, how it feels, and the satisfaction you get from owning something that looks this good, it's an all-round package that does a lot of things for a car enthusiast and someone who likes their cars. And you know what I mean if you're someone who's considering an S-Line, because people who aren't into their cars probably wouldn't bother. But you'll feel good, it drives well. Don't be afraid of that smaller output engine, because it's actually alright. Thank you very much for watching.